What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with league racing once again, and as you can probably tell by the title, this will probably be a very, very good episode. So, we're here for the Spanish Grand Prix. This is SRL. Championship standings, I might put them up on the screen, but basically we are tied for second with Warden. Ryan is leading by 8 points on 80, I believe. So the championship is still well and truly wide open for either three of us to take it. But it's still very early days at this stage. I'm just hoping to keep up the consistent run of podiums, which I've been able to do up until this stage. So, Spanish Grand Prix had an interesting run up to the start of this league race. I decided to go watch the new Avengers movie, Infinity War, and I didn't realize how long it actually took to get through the movie. I got home and only did one kind of practice run in qualifying before starting this, but overall I don't even think it slowed me down at all, because when I jumped straight on the game and in this race I was straight on the pace, so I can't really use that as an excuse. But yeah, so we're going out in qualifying, only doing one run for our banker. I want to try and make this opening lap as fast as what it possibly could be, so we're only running with 3 laps here, and I'm going to show you both of the qualifying laps as well, because I feel like both of them are actually pretty solid. So you can see just how I'm driving. So Spain, it's a high downforce circuit. As such, we're running with like 3.9 wings. I'm not too sure if that is the ideal setup. That's kind of up for debate. I might have a little play with that over the course of the weekend for AOR, but 3.9 felt like a pretty good balance overall. But going through this lap, you can see I haven't made any major mistakes. Running through to the third sector now. You got to run over those curves, but on the exit there it was a little bit squirmy. We got up on the curb and a lot of wheel spin and cost myself a couple of tenths there. But as we run up to the line, it is a 18.3, and surprisingly straight up in a pole position, provisional pole position on our banker run. So yeah, really happy with that run. To be straight on the pace, it kind of eases the pressure now as we head in for our final run of the day. And hopefully we can bang in like a low 18, maybe even a high 17. We'll have to wait and see. This is only SRL, but I expect for like AOR, I think all three of us are going to be doing 17s, possibly. So we'll have to wait and see. I feel like I'm a little bit nasally right now. What's going on? It is winter, and it has got really cold, and I don't know. My nose feels a bit blocked. But anyway, you can see on this lap here, it's very, very close between my current lap and my last one, just like teetering in between positive and negative on the delta. But yeah, I think we make up quite a bit of time in the middle sector, so you'll see that over the course of the lap, attacking right here through this little chicane. It is really easy to get done for corner cutting there, either on the entry or on the exit, so got to watch out for that. The fast right-hander, turn 9, 6th gear, it's really flowing through there, really nice. Now braking for turn 10, really late under brakes, 3rd gear, briefly in the 2nd to rotate the car, and then short shift back up to 3rd to make sure you get a nice exit. And the lap feels pretty nice so far, up by 2 tenths. Warden has gone pole position with an 18.0. We come to the final chicane. Now I've gone in a bit deep, missed the apex, and that's made the second half of that chicane just an absolute nightmare. We lost all of our delta right there. So that was our lap, pretty much done and dusted. We improve only marginally, and it's only P2 in the session. So, bit unfortunate there. I feel like I definitely could have got closer to Warden's time there. Just one huge mistake has kind of thrown it all away. I think Ryan lost his final lap as well. Some of the braking markers were knocked out, and he missed his braking point for turn 1, so he didn't get a final run in there. So, pace-wise, I feel like it's going to be very close between all three of us heading into the Spanish Grand Prix now. The race strategy is going to be a one-stop, stopping around like lap 10-ish, putting on the hards, and then running those until the end of the race. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the tyre wear goes. I feel like a track like Spain, it might favour the wheel users, so we might take that into consideration in this race. 5 red lights, and away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. Looks like Warden got off to a nice start. I got a little bit too much wheel spin there. Got a bit too eager on the second phase of that start, and we just about maintain P2. You can see on this long straight, I'm trying to get slipstream off of Warden. We go to the inside through turn 1. Nothing really doing for me just there, and we're just going to tuck in. I had to lift off a little bit through the middle of turn 3 because I could feel the wash of understeer already kicking in before we got halfway around the corner. And good thing I did that as well, because I would have ran off the track if I would have gone full throttle around there. So, yeah, dirty air. Huge consideration in a race like this, on a track like this. If you can have track position, it is absolutely key. But for me, on the balance of things, I felt like I had lower downforce than both Warden and Ryan. So, if that's the case, then overtaking might be a little bit easier for me on the straight. So, we'll just have to make sure we get close enough to him on the kind of final chicane, third sector, and then we'll make use of DRS if we can. The opening few laps, nothing was really happening. It was a bit of a stalemate between the three of us. You can see we've opened up a huge gap to 4th place already, and now we're putting Warden under pressure, who made a mistake on the last lap, and now we're going to try and go round the outside through turn 1. We're still on the outside as we get to turn 3. Warden is going to have a bit of a compromised exit, and we might have a chance heading into turn 5 here. Up the inside, this could be a Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg moment. There actually is a little bit of contact there as well, but gap closed, and that was pretty much our chance over. Ryan got a really nice exit as well, as I was kind of pinched on the inside and couldn't really do much there, so lucky in the end to keep Ryan at bay. I think he was, just playing it patient in 3rd place, just seeing what would happen between the two of us. He's got a bit of a lead in the championship, so he can probably afford to be a little bit conservative at the start here. Warden as well is sliding around all over the place. We slide up his inside, a little bit of rubbing on the side pods there, and we get through for the lead of the Grand Prix. Late on brakes for turn 6, and I think we have the move done. So there we go. 8 laps in, nothing really to separate us. Maybe a bit of tyre wear. I feel like Warden is really sliding around here. Might have gone for an aggressive setup and is possibly paying the price for that at the moment, because you can see Warden sliding around all over the place. Ryan, his car looks to be quite stable, and he's really able to run with me as well. He goes up the inside of Warden, up into P2, and I think Warden is really struggling at this stage. He might have to make a pit stop at this lap, possibly. We look on board with Ryan, and Warden does in fact pit. He's going for the undercut, trying to jump both of us as we head into the second phase of this race. I'm responding on the next lap, putting on the hard compound tyres, like I said. This is a little bit earlier than what I was anticipating. I did say around lap 10, but I wasn't expecting until lap 10 itself, or lap 11. We've come in a lap early, and Warden has come in 2 laps early, so we kind of make the overcut work there. There was still a decent amount of tyre life left in my soft compound tyres, and I was able to overcut Warden quite nicely. I feel like he might have actually got held up in a little bit of traffic as well on his outlap, so that might have affected him. But Ryan is coming into the pits on the next lap after I did, so he is going to try and do the overcut on me, and it looks like it might actually work here. I was pushing like crazy on my outlap, rich revs everywhere, no traffic, and Ryan has actually jumped us. So it turns out that the undercut means nothing. Absolutely nothing at the Spanish Grand Prix. We all came in too early, and Ryan has absolutely taken advantage. Just such is the difference between the hards and the softs. 2 compounds difference, and the hards are a really consistent tyre, but they just offer nothing really at the start of the stint. Maybe there's a bit of warm-up issues, but yeah, Ryan played that to absolute perfection. He jumps both of us now and leads the Grand Prix. So from here on in, we're going to have a bit of a tough tussle trying to get back in the lead of this race. Death Bro is up next. He hasn't made a stop yet. He started on the hard compound tyres, and we need to clear him ASAP and just minimize any gap that Ryan opens up at this phase of the Grand Prix. We got the inside there, a little bit of rubbing as we go over the hump. It's really awkward through there because the track kind of narrows and it pushes your car out wide, and we made contact with Death Bro, but thankfully we got the move done there. So a bit of time lost. We've ran wide through the final chicane as well. So a bit of a messy lap for us, and Warden is now getting involved with Death Bro as well, getting held up quite a bit. So yeah, not what you want. Not what you want when you're trying to battle a guy who is got 1 lap fresher tyres and is basically identical with you on pace. It's going to be a big grind from here to try and chase down the gap to New Zealand Ryan. So we'll wait and see how it goes. You can see fuel-wise, we're not in a good standing. I didn't put enough fuel in the car for this race. I think I did like 2 laps of fuel, but Warden and Ryan actually put in like 4 laps of fuel, and at this stage they both have like 2.5 laps worth of fuel still in the car. And yeah, I had a bit of an average lap, a bit of lean revs, saving fuel, and I think I braked early for turn 9. left a bit of time on the table, and now Warden has made full advantage, getting a nice exit off the final corner and soaring past us on the straight. So, yeah, one bad lap and a bit of fuel saving at this stage of the race, and that was the difference between myself and Warden. So, yeah, pretty frustrating. He makes a huge mistake now as well, which is, again, allowing Ryan to kind of run away with this race. But, yeah, for the next few laps, I was doing a bit of fuel saving. I was quite aware that Warden was going to struggle at the back end of the race, so I wasn't panicking all too much, just trying to get my fuel back in check. And now you can see we're starting to apply the pressure again. Warden goes defensive into turn 1. We're going to have the inside for turn 2. Try and hold around the outside for turn 3. A bit like Max Verstappen on Lewis Hamilton at China. Doesn't quite work out there. And it's third place. I had a little look up the inside. I wasn't actually going to dive there. I felt like there's a lot of time left in the race, and now isn't the time to do a 50-50 move like that. So I just thought I'd be a little bit more patient with that and save a bit more fuel, wait for Warden's tyres to die out a little bit more, and then it'll actually be a bit easier for us to overtake him later on in the race. And you can see he's back to that trademark sliding around a little bit. So I'm not too sure. I can only speculate with Warden's setup. Maybe he went a little bit aggressive with the wings, and he is perhaps paying the price for that now with the rear end sliding around a bit. We've got a time penalty for corner cutting at the middle sector chicane. So easy to cut there, like I said. And yeah, just a bit unfortunate really. But now we're putting the pressure on Warden here. He's going defensive into turn 1. We're going to have to overtake him around the outside like we've been doing pretty much all day here. We'll have the inside for turn 2. We'll squeeze him. We don't even have to squeeze him out. We just have the tyre grip and the pace advantage to get that position without even having to tussle through turn 2. So that was quite easy for us now. But with 3 laps left to go, I think we've just left ourselves a little bit too much to do to try and catch Ryan. I was still pushing 100%, trying to catch him. The gap to my best lap was within a tenth every lap for those last few laps, and man, did it make such a difference when I got clear air. I just felt like I could actually push again. When you're tucked in behind the rear wing of someone else, you just feel so limited. I wasn't able to push like I wanted to, and yeah, really didn't do myself any favors today by underfueling the car. I felt like, you know, I felt like I didn't need that much fuel because it's a high downforce circuit. There's a lot of slow speed corners, and you don't need too much rich mixture to go around the circuit. But that's something I'll have to rectify for AOR. But you can see the gap to Ryan has really come down. I think it's like a second and a half now, and he's running into some fuel issues himself. So he did a lot of fuel burning over the course of the race to give him that pace, and now he's starting to pay the price for that. He did actually make a mistake on the last lap as well, and now he's just kind of, you know, easing it home without taking too many risks. But I was still pushing on 100% to try and apply as much pressure as I could in the hopes that Ryan would make a mistake. But sure enough, just like a robot, he managed to keep it clean and bring home another win in the Spanish Grand Prix. He takes the race victory, I think 1.2 seconds in the end, but that time penalty for us has demoted us to third place. I was really thinking that maybe the other guys had penalties as well, but wasn't the case. I think Warden had 2 warnings, and Ryan, I don't even think he got a warning at all, so superb drive from him. It's a Force India 1-2, and just that small little mistake with, 5-7 laps to go, gave us that penalty and cost us P2. So, there we go. Spanish Grand Prix, done and dusted. We set our fastest up at the Grand Prix on the last lap as well, so I was really phasing in nicely to that race, just pushing so much, and then when I saved enough fuel and I was able to make a final attack in the final few laps and really show what the pace was like in clear air. But yeah, what could have been. AOR is up next on Sunday at this very track, so I've learned a few things. Hopefully we can apply that and maybe go for the race win on that day as well. So thank you so much for watching. The pace between the 3 of us really was so evenly matched, and if it's anything like this on Sunday, then I'm really looking forward to the battle. So thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video very soon.